And I'm joined by Brad Hayden with Robotic Skies. And Brad, it seems like only a couple of months ago we were having a conversation at AEA, but one of the things that your company is doing is a repair station specifically for the unmanned market. Tell us a little bit about Robotic Skies.
Yeah, you bet, Tom, and thanks for having me. Robotic Skies is a network of Part 145 repair stations. We're actually at 150 plus now repair stations around the world. And what we do is we actually get them underneath this network and all the processes involved in working on UAS. We get them trained, we negotiate the rates with the customers, and then what we do is we're the primary interface, our company, with the customer. So what we're doing is we're opening up a brand new market space for these Part 145s. That's interesting, of course, in the Part 145 market, and we talked a lot about that at AEA. We brought in a bunch of new repair stations from the AEA show. Where it's applicable, though, to this UAS market is that we are providing them with a ready-to-rock, if you will, maintenance network that is global. We're in every major continent around the world, but we're also local. So their customers can actually take their high-end UAS into one of our facilities to get them repaired. It's important to note that we are OEM certified. We have 10 OEMs signed on now. Manufacturers for our services, some major fleet operators, and we only work on those UAS that we do have that training and that certification on. So we're also only working on the higher end UAS. These are systems that maybe start at $20,000 to $30,000, all the way up to, one of our customers actually has an optionally piloted Lancer Evolution, and so that's kind of the upper scale. That's maybe several $1 million for that airframe. What's interesting about the show this year is we're seeing a lot bigger airframes on the floor. I see us going from a lot of the smaller platforms to a lot of really big platforms. And all you have to do is walk the show floor to see them, both fixed wing and multi-rotors.
I've noticed that as well, and this is my first time to be at the Exponential show, but I am noticing a lot of the more industrial grade, as you said, fixed wing, the great big multi-rotor VTOL aircraft. Those kinds of things are really prevalent at this show. And when you talk about doing repair work on UAVs, how is that different from a manned aircraft? What are you finding are some of the unique challenges to working on an unmanned aircraft?
Generally, there is no real difference. It's an airframe. It's a different kind of airframe, but probably not a lot different, or the same kind of contrast you'd see maybe between a rotorcraft and a fixed wing. It has its own peculiarities. A rotorcraft vibration is a bigger issue. Those types of nuances. Also, oftentimes the aircraft can be carried into the Part 145, which you don't normally see because it's being driven in from a remote location. You may need to go on location to repair it. But again, we have got 7 decades in general aviation maintenance of working, inspecting, returning to service these types of aircraft. And what we're doing is, even though under Part 107 there are no continued airworthiness requirements, we're taking the best practices that we've learned in aviation, and that includes technician training to quality assurance to workflow, and we're applying that over into this new market space. And really that's the bottom line here, is that UAS is not a new industry. It's an evolving, growing, exciting market of the aerospace industry. And I think with this show in particular this year, we're starting to see a lot more of the aerospace elements coming into play in this new market.
What are some of those aerospace elements?
We're starting to see more, of course, on the regulation side, the regulatory side, a lot more regulatory involvement. Obviously, now that we've got 107 under our belts, everybody's wanting to go beyond line of sight. Everybody's wanting to have flights over people. That's going to require more capable aircraft. It could potentially require aircraft that have some type of assurance from a safety standpoint that it's airworthy. Whether that's going to be type certification or self-certification remains to be seen. But those are areas that we in aviation are very used to dealing with. And so as it starts to migrate that direction, we're going to start seeing a rise, if you will, of aviation infrastructure come into play, not just the manufacturers, but the avionics manufacturers, the avionics developers. Of course, us on the maintenance, we've been doing this now for a few years. We were leader in that. But insurance, you know, and other types of aviation services that are going to make their way over into this new market.
One thing more, and then I'll let you go because I know you've got to get back to work. But you said, as we were chatting before we came live, that you're noticing that the UAV industry is starting to look more like the aviation industry. How does that affect your business?
Well, that's very positive for our business. Again, you know, we're really predicated upon working on airframes that not just want maintenance or require maintenance because, you know, they have to per regulation or to get a waiver or whatever, but, you know, need it because they are high performance aircraft that need to be maintained on a regular basis to be effective. So obviously the bigger the airframe gets, the more local maintenance it's going to require, the more ongoing checks it's going to require to assure that the aircraft is capable of flight. And that's going to be very, very good for our business. And that's what we built this company for, was for these airframes as they get bigger, more complex, flying bigger, longer missions, integration into the national airspace. That's what we're here to provide, is that level of assurance of safety that we can bring from, again, our aviation best practices.
Well, Brad, it's always great to see you, and thanks very much for being a little patient and waiting around for a few minutes while we got going here. But I will let you get back to work. I really appreciate it. That's Brad
Thanks,
Hayden
Tom.
with Robotic Skies.
Aero-News Network's coverage of the Association for Unmanned Vehicle Systems International's Exponential 2017, live from Dallas, Texas, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors. Continental Motors Group. Manned and unmanned, Continental has been a pivotal part of aviation and aerospace history and wants to be a part of your mission. Gas or diesel, certified or experimental, Continental is investing in your future. www.continentalmotors.aero.
Let Patrick Neal and Associates provide the legal expertise needed to navigate the commercial UAS industry. Whether it be waivers, exemptions, operational plans, or other issues, we can provide the guidance you need to keep flying and building your successful UAS operation. www.droneattorneys.us.
In collaboration with NASC, introducing Sonex Aerospace, bringing you the Taros Group 4 UAS, the redesigned Tiger Shark Block 4, and the Subsonics Twin Jet UAS, all derived from flight-proven manned systems, not concepts, real aircraft. More at sonexaerospace.com.